का examination. Hmm? What is ulcer? An ulcer is breaking continue throughout the covering epithelium, that is skin or mucous membrane. The ulcer may follow molecular death of the surface epithelium or its traumatic removal. You should know the difference between wound and ulcer. What is difference between wound and ulcer? The wound, in a wound, there may be a external force requiring for a causation of wound. But in case of ulcer, it may follow a molecular death of a surface epithelium. That it may be intrinsic factor that may contribute to formation of ulcer. But in case of wound, there will be always an external factor which causing the wound. Then, in as we discuss the practical aspect, we should always start with the history. In case of ulcer, as we take a history, name, age, sex, location, these are not so much important indices related to the case of ulcer, as some age-related factor like atherosclerosis, hypertension, or ischemic arterial disease or gangrene may be some common in some old age people. That is, atherosclerosis is common in middle age to old age patient. They may be a positive factor for some type of ulcer, that is arterial ulcer. Venous ulcers are also common in old age, that is middle age person or obese person. Then sex, the Raynaud's phenomenon, as we know, the Raynaud disease or Raynaud phenomenon are more common in case of females, that is in young female, which is due to exposure to intensive cold. That is Raynaud phenomenon, in which there are superficial ulcers of the upper lip. And then Berger disease. Berger disease is the inflammatory disease of a small to medium sized artery, which is more common in case of young smokers, that is in between 20 to 40 years of age. That is, Berger disease is more common in young smoker. Why you should know this type of disease? Because these are the differential diagnosis. When you see a patient of ulcer, you, you should think like in a differential diagnosis. What are the causes of this ulcer? Then other in a history, when you take a history of ulcer, the in history of present illness, you should also mention some following types of things like mode of onset. Why it is important? Because mode of onset give a about the cause of cause or help you to diagnose the or confirm the diagnosis of the ulcer. That is, in case of traumatic ulcer or mode of onset can also help you to determine the course of illness. That is, how the ulcer will be healed. Whether it will be healed in a some 2 weeks or whether it may require some debridement. That is, traumatic ulcer generally heal by themselves if the traumatic agent is removed. That is, there is no special treatment required for traumatic ulcer. Then ulcer may originate spontaneously after swelling. Example, the matted tuberculous lymph node. As we all know, the tuberculous lymph nodes are matted. There is formation of fistula formation. That, if you read the stages of cold upset, then you have read the stages like first stage is stage of tubercular lymphadenitis, then tubercular periadenitis, then formation of a cold upset, then formation of sinus formation, and then last stage is collar stud abscess, and after that there is a formation of ulcer at the site of lymph node. That is, the lymph node burst rapidly, spontaneously, and there is formation of ulcer at the site of lymph node. That is, spontaneous ulcer may originate spontaneous after swelling. In case of tuberculosis, if the cold abscess or material lymph node burst, then there is a formation of ulcer at the site of lymph node. Then ulcer may arise in the leg with varicose veins or venous insufficiency. If the patient gives history of multiple prominent swelling in a lower limb, then in this case, we may have a multiple longitudinal ulcer over the along the courses of the varicose vein. That is most commonly common varicosities are common in long saphenous vein, which is runs over the medial aspect of leg. And you have multiple ulcers over the medial aspect of leg. Then Marjolin ulcer develops in the scar of burn. Marjolin types of ulcer, these are the Marjolin ulcer, these are malignant ulcer. They develop in the scar of burn. That is, if the patient give a history of previous burn and also give a history of similar history of ulcer at similar site. That is, then you can think of Marjolin ulcer. Then duration of the ulcer, that is incubation period of ulcer with the time interval, that is in between the initiation of first symptom and appearance of the ulcer. It is called as the incubation period of the ulcer. That is, incubation period of ulcer is the time interval between the exposure and the onset of ulcer. In Hunterian chancre, that is in case of syphilis, in primary syphilis, there are no stage, that is normally ulcer are not formed in primary chancre. But this incubation period is in Hunterian chancre, that is syphilis, the incubation period is 3 to 4 weeks. Whereas in chancroid, the you all may have known that syphilis is, is caused by another organism, and chancroid, that is, it is caused by Chancroid ducrei type of a bacteria. This in this chancroid or soft sore, the period is about 3 to 4 days. That is, in by knowing the history of duration, you can it can also help you to diagnose the type of ulcer or cause of ulcer. Then pain. Why the pain is, some patients, some types of patient with the ulcer give a history of pain, and some patients don't give a or they don't have any history of pain associated with ulcer. That is what what pain indicates. The pain, any ulcer with the pain indicate that there is associated inflammation, that is which is painful. Then syphilitic and tropic ulcer resulting from nerve disease are painless. You also know that syphilitic ulcer or any tropic ulcer, they are painless ulcer. Why? Because there is already a peripheral or neuropathy, that is damage to the nerve, so patients can't feel any painful sensation. Then tuberculous ulcers, they are slightly painful. That is, ulcer from malignant disease are painless. In case of malignant ulcer, the ulcers are initially painless, but as the ulcer infiltrate the surrounding nerve structure, it may be painful. Then these are the ODD, that is onset, duration, and progress. In case of venous ulcer, that is, you should first you any before taking any history, you should have a differential. After hearing the chief complaints of the patient, you should have some differential diagnosis in your mind, that is the complaints may be related to this disease. Then you can think some related point of that disease, and you can ask to the patient that to rule out that disease. If the patient is saying that patient is having a ulcer over a medial aspect of left foot, just above the medial malleolus, then you can think of matlab, you can think of 2 to 3 differential diagnosis. It may be a most common site for medial on medial aspect of leg, just over the medial malleolus is most common site is for venous ulcer. That is, venous ulcers are more common on medial aspect of leg. But in case of, if the patient give a history, that is history of previous history of eczema, itching, and lipodermatosclerosis. These are also suggestive of venous ulcer. If the patient gives a history of ulcer on lateral aspect or in a vicinity of any arterial area, then you can also suspect a arterial ulcer. But if the patient gives a history of trauma followed by a signs of cellulitis, then you may suspect a trophic ulcer. That is, it may be a diabetic ulcer. If the that is depending on the patient's history, you can make your differential diagnosis. Then inspection. What you should look on inspection, that is size and shape of the ulcer. What are that is on inspection you should describe some features of ulcer, size and shape of ulcer. That is it. It is some particular shapes are determined with some particular ulcer. That is tubercular ulcers are oval in shape and syphilitic ulcers are round or semilunar, which may be later joined to each other and make a serpentious linear curve. That is, syphilitic ulcers are first round or semilunar, but as they connect, they are syphilitic ulcers are multiple ulcers. If they connect to each other, then there may be a formation of serpentious lines. That is, the ulcer, one ulcer connect to the other ulcer. That it forms the serpentious road. Then varicose ulcer. These are varicose ulcers are also a multiple ulcer, but they are vertically oval ulcer. Then malignant ulcer, that is carcinomatous ulcers are irregular in shape. There is no peculiar shape of that ulcer. Traumatic ulcer may be of any shape. Then number, that is, as I already mentioned, that number of ulcer, whether the ulcer is single, that is solid ulcer, or whether it may multiple ulcer. The reasons for multiple ulcer, you should also know the reasons for multiple ulcer. If the patients have a multiple ulcer, you can think of tuberculosis, that is gummatous, that is syphilitic ulcer, varicose and soft chancre. These are the causes of multiple ulcer, that is tuberculosis, gummatous, that is syphilitis, and varicose and soft chancre. Then position of the ulcer. On just by hearing a history of a patient, you can make your diagnosis, that is position. Varicose ulcer are most common site for varicose ulcer are just above the medial malleolus or at the medial malleolus of lower limb. Medial aspect of lower limb, that is just above the medial malleolus. Then rodent ulcer. Rodent ulcer, or these are the ulcer which are most common at if you form a line in between upper part of face above a line joining the angle of mouth and lobule of the ear, frequently near the inner canthus of neck. This is the rodent ulcer are most common on just if you draw the line in between the lower aspect of the earlobe and angle of mouth. The ulcers are always above these lines, and most common site is being the inner canthus of the eye. That is, if this is inner canthus, this is inner canthus, this is outer canthus. The most common site is inner canthus, but most of these ulcers are just above the line joining the earlobe and angle of mouth. The ulcers are always above this line. Then tuberculous ulcer. As we know, tuberculous lymphadenopathy is more common in neck, axilla, or groin. Then these types of ulcers are also more common on neck, axilla, and groin. Then lupus. Lupus is a cutaneous form of TB, tuberculosis. Lupus vulgaris is, yeah, or lupus is a cutaneous form of tuberculosis. These ulcers are also common on face, finger, and hand. Then Hunterian chancre and soft sores. As we all know, the syphilis and the third phase of syphilis, that is Hunterian chancre and soft sores caused by Haemophilus ducreyi type of bacteria. These are more common on external genitalia. If or patients complaints of some painful sores or painful sores with discharge over the external genitalia or a glance penis, then you can suspect it may be a syphilitic type of person or it may be soft sore caused by Haemophilus ducreyi. Then gummatous ulcer, that is syphilitic ulcer over the subcut of bones, that is tibia, sternum and skull. The syphilitic ulcers are more common on scene of tibia, if that is just the anterior aspect of leg. Then tropic ulcer. Tropic ulcers are in what happened in tropic ulcer? There is lots of peripheral sensation of the patient. That is, patient is insensitive to the cold, pain, cold, tenderness, temperature. Then these ulcers are more common on weight-bearing area. That is area most that is area which is most related to the or most prone to the injury, that is heel of foot. The patient don't know that is something is happening to his foot. If some it start from such minor injuries, the patient is unawareness of that injury, which lead to a formation of trophic ulcer. Then malignant ulcers are common over the lips, tongue, breast, penis, and anus. This is venous ulcer. That is, this is medial malleolus, and this is the previous varicosities of the vein. If you see that this is a long saphenous vein, and the varicosities are multiple varicosities of veins are prominent over the medial aspect of the leg. These are such a what is mean by varicose? Varicose vein or varicosity, it is multiple tortuous dilatations of the veins. That is, first the vein is dilated, then in the lateral stage of the disease, there is ulceration of the skin and subcutaneous disease. This is most common site. That is, this is greatest area just above the medial malleolus. The venous ulcers are more common along the course of the vein. That is, if the patient give a history of varicosities in previously, then these are the common site for venous ulcer. Then this is lupus vulgaris, that is cutaneous form of tuberculosis on face. In a dermatology, this is a common, that is lupus vulgaris is more common on face. It may be common on, it may be a present on chest. Then this is rodent ulcer, which is more common on inner canthosophy, but most of the 90% of the rodent ulcers are present on just above the line, which is joining to the air lobule to the angle of mouth. This is tropic ulcer. It is at the bottom of, that is over the sole ball of the foot. Why this site is common? Because this is a weight bearing area and patient don't uh, doesn't feel any sensation over this part. So there is repeated trauma to the this part, and there is formation of ulcer, and patient is unaware to the pain or any injury caused by any factor. Then edge, what is edge and what is margin? You should, in a practical, you have a famous question, that is more common question. What is the difference between edge? What is edge and what is margin? What is edge and what is margin? Anyone anyone knows what is difference between edge and margin? The edge is a area between the floor of the ulcer and margin. What is margin? Margin is an area between the normal surrounding and edge of the ulcer. If you draw a line, that is in periphery, that is the peripheral part of the ulcer, that is normal surrounding, and the edge, one line is normal surrounding, in between there is a line of margin, and after that there is edge, and after it lateral to it is the ulcer. That is, edge is the area in between the margin of the ulcer and floor of the ulcer. What is margin? Margin is a line in between the normal surrounding and edge of the ulcer. Then by determining the edge of the ulcer, we can also confirm or diagnose it, that is undermine edges. Why this is undermine edges? The bacteria undermine the subcutaneous part of the ulcer, and there is formations of undermine edges in tuberculous type of ulcer. Then punch out edges in gummatous or syphilitic ulcer. In syphilitic ulcer, these are the punch out edges. Why? There is the bacteria or the force is perpendicular to the surface. So there is the edges are punch out. Then sloping edges. Sloping edges are more common on in healing type of ulcer or healing traumatic or venous ulcer. Sloping edges, this means there is a slope. The most common cause of sloping ulcer is healing ulcer. If you uh, see a patients in our ward, then you can view the sloping types of edges in healing type of ulcer. Then raised pearly white beaded edges are these type of edges are more common in rodent ulcer or basal cell carcinoma. That is rodent ulcer. This type of cells, that is pearly white beaded edges, is common in rodent ulcer. Then this rolled out edges, rolled out or inverted edges are more common in carcinoma or epithelioma. Then you should know the size, shape, extent, then margin, edge, and floor. What is floor? The floor is exposed surface of the ulcer. As you open the dressing of an ulcer, the what you see is the floor of the, that is exposed surface of the ulcer is called as floor of the ulcer. If the ulcer is covered with red granulation tissue, the ulcer is healthy and healing type of ulcer. What are the you, in an exam you will be asked, that is what is difference between healing type of ulcer and non-healing type of ulcer. That is, in healing type of ulcer there is a red valence, that is red granulation tissue, which is feature of healing type of ulcer. What is granulation tissue? You should also know that what is granulation tissue. The definition of granulation tissue, the difference between the healing type of ulcer and non-healing type of ulcer. In next lecture or when your college will be start, we will discuss. That is, I will ask to you what is difference between the healing type of ulcers and non-healing type of ulcers. What is definition of granulation tissue? That is the composition of granulation tissue, how it is formed, and how many, that is on which day in normal healing, on which day the granulation tissue appear. These are the homework questions for you. You should know before your practical examination, because these are the most common questions which can be asked to anyone. Then that is red granulation tissue is present in healthy and healing ulcer. Pale and smooth granulation tissue is present in slowly healing ulcer. That is, if the ulcer is rapidly healing or healthy, then you will have a red granulation tissue. If the ulcer is slowly healing, if it takes more time than normal, then the ulcer will be, the floor of the ulcer will be pale and there will be a smooth granulation tissue. Then wash leather. In case of gummatous ulcer, you will have a wash leather slough. That is, if you uh, white bear, if you have seen a white bear, then the feathers of white bear, that type of slough is present in gummatous ulcer. Wash leather slough is present in gummatous ulcer. Then tropic ulcer. In case of tropic ulcer, as the tropic ulcers are more common on wall of the foot, the floor is formed by the calcaneum part of the foot, calcaneum bone of the foot, that is bony part of the foot is put from the floor of the ulcer. Then in case of malignant melanoma, then there is a black mark, that is, if you have read, then you should know that the melanomas are, there are multiple stages of melanoma. In first stage, that is, there will be irregular increase in size, then there is increase in numbers. Then that is black mass is forming. We have a change in malignant melanoma. Then you should also know the discharge, that is type of discharge, quantity of discharge, whether it is foul smelling or non-smelling. This type of, that is, you should know the type of discharge, that is whether it is serosanguinous or bloody discharge, or whether it is a foul smelling discharge, whether it is serous purulent, or whether scanty or numerous. That is, in case of healing ulcer, there is scanty serous discharge. But you have seen that is there is presence of red granulation tissue in case of healthy and healing ulcer. That is, the discharge will be scanty, serous discharge. The edges will be, in case of healing ulcer, the edges will be sloping. That is, these are the differential points in between the uh, healing ulcers and non-healing ulcers. That is, the healing ulcers will have a sloping types of edges. It will have a serous discharge, serous discharge. Then it will have a sloping edges. Then it will have a red granulation tissue. Freeding or inflamed ulcer have purulent discharge. If you have seen a cellulitis ulcer or a spreading type of ulcer, that is inflamed ulcer, it may have a purulent discharge. That is greenish type of discharge, which is more common in our daily wall rounds. That is infection by Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is most common organism for the greenish discharge in a ulcer, or a greenish type of flux in our ulcer. What is the treatment of Pseudomonas aeruginosa? If you have a, if you get a ulcer in your ulcer case on ulcer examination in your examination, you should also know the type of dressing solution, that is with there are multiple types of dressing solution: betaine, hydrogen peroxide, then colloid dressing, alginate dressing. Then you have a your types. If you get a greeny discharge, then what type of organism, that is Pseudomonas is more common. If you get a greeny discharge in your ulcer, then what type of treatment you will do, you should know. That is, if the patient complaining of, or if you get a greenish discharge, then it is typically a Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection. In a word, we can treat it with a specific dressing solution. Then base of the ulcer. What is base of the ulcer? Base of the ulcer is on which the base is the part of the ulcer on which the ulcer rests. That is, it is better held. The floor is better seen, but the base is better held than seen. That is, if you, how to examine the base of the ulcer, that is on palpation, you pick up the ulcer base between the thumb and index finger. That is, in between the index and thumb, index finger and thumb, you pick up the ulcer, base of the ulcer. That is, it is better felt than seen. If there is marked induration at the bed, that is, some type of induration is present in all types of ulcer because of scarring and fibrosis. But if you get a marked induration, it is present in squamous cell carcinoma and Hunterian chancre. The slight degree of induration is present in all types of ulcer or chronic ulcer, but marked induration is a feature of squamous cell carcinoma and Hunterian chancre. Then surrounding area, that is, first you have examined the ulcer, that is, you have examined size, shape, extent, then floor of the ulcer, margin, edges. Then you should look on over the surrounding area. In case of acutely inflamed ulcer, the surrounding area will be edematous, glossy red, that is inflamed. That means if in case of inflamed, acutely inflamed ulcer, the surrounding area will also be inflamed. That is, it will be look like a glossy red and edematous. Then varicose ulcer. In case of varicose ulcer, the surrounding area will be the area adjacent to the ulcer. That is, surrounding area will be eczematous and pigmented. That is lipodermatous. You will see a lipodermatosclerosis over the surrounding area. That is, the area will be eczematous and pigmented. In case of tuberculosis, there will be a scar or wrinkling of skin surrounding the ulcer. If you know that in case of cold abscess or in case of any tubercular abscess, you should do a non-dependent aspiration or non-dependent drainage of that abscess. That it suggests a scar or wrinkling of skin around the ulcer. That in case of tuberculosis. Then examination of whole limb. In case of to rule out differential, to rule out or to confirm your different diagnosis. This is the most important part of the your examination. After examining this, you may have a 2 to 3 just by hearing your patient's complaint, you may have a 10 to 12 differential diagnosis. By just hearing patient complaint, you may have 6 to 8 diagnosis. But after inspection or after taking a proper history and just after inspection, you may have reduce your differential diagnosis. That is, some part of that is differential will be eliminated. That this will not happen in this case, or this finding suggest that this type of diagnosis. Then you may have a 2 to 3 day differential diagnosis. Then to rule out or to confirm your diagnosis, you should have a perform or you should look for a specific sign. That is, if you suspect a varicose ulcer or a venous ulcer, then you should look for presence of varicose veins and DVT. In case of DVT, you should know the two different signs, that is LH signs and Schumann sign. Then neurological insufficiency indicate the tropical ulcer. That is, in case of tropical ulcer, you should look for peripheral sensations and any other motor activity involved over the area, affected area. Thank you. We will discuss the remaining part in next lecture.